Hi, this is Joe from selfsufficientpath.com. You know, for a while now I've been looking for an axe that would work for my truck bag and the bag that I usually carry into the woods. A large felling axe is too big and too heavy, and a hatchet just really isn't enough to get the job done. I looked at some of the Swedish axes, I looked at some of the American-made tomahawks and that sort of thing, and nothing really kind of struck me right until I found this. What I've got here is an H&B Forge belt axe, and I really like it. So today we're going to kind of put it through its paces, tell you a little bit about it, and tell you why it's become my new kind of go-to axe. So H&B Forge is located in Shiloh, Ohio. We started in 1965. The guy that does most of the smithing now is named Jared Barber. He's the grandson of the founder. H&B also does a lot of tomahawks, a lot of bigger axes as well, but this is what they call their belt axe. The difference between a tomahawk and an axe is the fact that you've got a wedged head. It's not a friction fit head, and that was important to me. I like the shape of this, and it is somewhat reminiscent of a tomahawk, but I do like that wedged head. It gives you a more secure kind of feeling when you're trying to chop wood. So the bit is made of hardened 1095, and it's surrounded by 1088, which is a softer steel. And I got to tell you, the forge welding is done really, really well. You can't even see the forge lines, the weld lines. Take a look at that. I don't really know what the handle is made out of. It's hardwood, obviously, very tight grained. The grain isn't running exactly as you would want it on this handle. You would typically want the grain lines to be running parallel with the head. And it's not perfect, but I also don't get the feeling this is going to break. So let's talk a little bit about how this is made. As I mentioned, it is hand forged. The profile and the edges are all ground. Very nicely done. No sharp edges, except for the one that's meant to be sharp. It came very, very sharp. I have touched up the edge a little bit on it because I have used it a little bit before today, but it came very, very sharp. The handle is a stained hardwood of some sort. I don't know, it looks like it could be ash, could be oak. It is stained. As far as the head goes, it's got a wood axial wedge, and then it's got cross wedge with a slight diagonal with a steel wedge. The handle is very, very nicely shaped. Obviously done on a handle lathe. It's got a nice palm swell to it, nice feel in the hand. And one thing I really like that they did is it looks like they put a chatter tool on the handle lathe to give you a nice texture where you're going to be holding the handle. Gives you a little bit more grip there. It's really nice. It's hard to explain unless you feel it, but it is very, very nice. The only thing I've done, there was some loss of staining where the head was put on, pounded on, and also where it abuts with the head. I just happened to have some stain that matched, so I touched it up, and then I did put a couple of coats of boiled linseed oil on the handle. All in all, it's a very nicely proportioned axe. It's the perfect size and shape for what I wanted, and obviously very, very well built. So let's give this a little bit of a stress test. What we've got here is a piece of firewood. It's either oak or chestnut, I can't quite tell. And it's very dry, very hard. Let's see what we can do with it. Yeah, it's nice. Edge hasn't rolled at all. Still just as sharp as it was. Excellent. So there you have it. You know, I wouldn't want to chop down a 120-foot oak with it, but for making a campfire or processing game or shelter building, I think you'd have a hard time finding something better. So according to H&B's website, the head is supposed to be about 6 1/4 inches long. Comes in right on it. The cutting edge is supposed to be 3 1/2, maybe 1/8 of an inch shy, but if they're measuring along the edge, that might explain it. And the handle is supposed to be about 17 inches. Actually comes in at about 16 1/4, so it looks like they probably adjusted the dimensions of it since they posted to the website. Weight, indeed I don't know. I can tell you that it feels good in the hand, that it's certainly heavier than a hatchet. I can't give you a weight, and frankly I'm not going to dig the scale out to do it. But so that's the H&B Forge belt axe. You can see this is not, it doesn't come with a sheath, although they do offer a sheath that you can buy separately. I do leather working, so I went ahead and made this. It's made such that it will fit into molly straps and also fit on a belt. And then I made this little keeper down here to hold the handle tight to the pack. So I hope you liked it. I certainly like this axe. If you want to see more things like this, please come over to selfsufficientpath.com. And if you enjoyed the video, please be sure and click like below. That really helps to get the video out in terms of views and let more people see it. So thanks again. We'll see you later.